Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to another episode of Flesh Wound Horror Live, or Flesh Wound Horror. I guess we're like a morning show now. This is weird, at least for me. Yeah, it might be daylight by the time we're done, but I am Flesh Wound Dan. That is producer Todd.
What's up?
And that is Mike Kruger.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yes, we are prime time now. Horror YouTubers of the month. So, yes, thank you once again. We really appreciate that. And that nomination video is going to be coming shortly, soon. So, yeah, I'm excited to hopefully pay it back because we really do appreciate it. A ton of you voted. And once again, thank you so very, very much. We really do appreciate it. So, before we get into tonight's movie, I've got to say this show almost, well, it would have happened with you two, but almost didn't happen for me because I found it very odd. And Todd, you might even be able to elaborate on this. Showings were just showing as sold out, which was odd. Like, because I mean, as much as I'd like to believe Crimes of the Future was a sellout, that just didn't seem legit. My theater was not sold out. Now, when I got there, they informed me the air conditioning is broken in that theater and it might get kind of hot. And I'm thinking, fuck, okay, well, I'm doing a radio show. I have to go. So then when I get in there, the trailers start and there's no audio. So I'm thinking, like, son of a bitch, the universe doesn't want me to see Crimes of the Future. So they move us into another theater. So I basically missed the trailers. I don't know if there's anything good during this. No idea. But it all worked out. I had air conditioning and I saw the movie, but was not a sellout. So I don't know what was going on with all that crap.
It was, I was having weird things go on with my theater too, where they didn't put up the showings up until like literally yesterday. So like I was checking every day for like the last 2 weeks trying to get my tickets. Luckily, I guess not luckily for the movie, but there weren't that many people in my theater, and I did get my tickets before everybody else. So I was happy I got my middle seats. Like there's a specific row that I like at the theater, and if I don't get it, I usually try to switch my times around.
Yeah, mine was like a little less than half full, which is actually not terrible for a weekday. So it made sense. I don't know what was going on. You guys should see it absolutely if soon. Yeah, well, if you still want to after this review, I don't know, but you should see it soon because I don't think it's going to be in theaters very long. Somebody told me a 1 week, which was odd because I didn't see it announced. So it is 1 week.
I don't know. It's neon, so
yeah,
it'll be a smaller run. But I didn't hear about a week.
Titane hung around for a decent bit, so
not for me. Titane was in and out of my theater pretty fast, and same with Pig.
Yeah, again, maybe Atlanta. I'm just lucky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they stick around. A lot of them here too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it depends where you are. If you want to see it fast. But all right, we'll get right into it. Big moment. 8 years in the making. Didn't know if we would get another Cronenberg movie.
No, well, 23 years in the making. If we're just doing his horror stuff.
Yeah, if you're going horror or horror sci-fi.
Well, you could go back even further to his original Crimes of the Future movie too. So, we could be saying this is almost fucking 50 something years in the making.
Yeah, but Crimes the other Crimes of the Future, it's name only. So yeah, I don't.
There's some. I'll get into it when I talk about.
Yeah, there are certain things he picks, but not a remake or anything.
Yeah,
no. That's what they wanted to make that clear.
Yeah. So, all right, Crimes of the Future from David Cronenberg. As the human species adapts to a synthetic environment, the body undergoes new transformations and mutations. Accompanied by his partner, celebrity performance artist Saul Tenser, showcases the metamorphosis of his organs. Meanwhile, a mysterious group tries to use Saul's notoriety to shed light on the next phase of human evolution. All right, so long time in the making. Thank God Cronenberg is still making films. Apparently he's working on something else, so I don't think this is necessarily his swan song, but Yeah. So I grew up with Cronenberg. He is a hero of mine, but I'll tag you in first, Kruger. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean Cronenberg's a hero of mine too. He's on my horror Mount Rushmore for sure, along with like Craven, Hooper, and Carpenter. But yeah, he's one of my favorite directors of all time, and just I love his stories and the way he blends weird like science and sexual situations into horror. So seeing the trailer for this movie, I was enthralled and just super excited to check it out. So excited that I ended up picking up this David Cronenberg early years Arrow Video Blu-ray, just because it had his original Crimes of the Future on there. And I'm so glad I watched this before the movie, because not only does he take certain elements of his original Crimes of the Future and bring it into this film, also his short From the Drain, a certain blue ooze that is coming out of people's mouth is straight from that short, along with some of the little body horror aspects. So I was like, wow, I'm really glad I watched this before. And man, this movie just visually, it's so fucking beautiful. I mean, anything really Neon puts out usually looks fantastic, but it really blew me away. The opening scene, I mean, it let you know that it was, ready to fucking play. And this was going to be no holds barred Cronenberg, firing on all cylinders of explitness. And man, it was a ride. First thing I'll say is just the acting all around was fantastic. Viggo Mortensen, I think he stole the show just playing, his character and the way he just acted so sickly in certain areas. Like, it was very, very convincing. I don't know how to say her last name, but Leah Sadoks, who played Caprice. I thought her character and the performance that she brought to the table.
Leah Sadu.
Yeah, she brought amazing performance to the table, and her character I thought was just really well done too. And her relationship, Caprice and Saul's relationship was just so interesting. And also Kirsten Stewart, really, I think, just sold the like awkward scientist so well, and like just the way her whole character comes around the end. Man, just the performances alone, I was like, wow, this is really great. And then we get into the visual effects, and the practical effects as well. You have these almost H.R. Geiger like machinery, just biomechanical, weird, like almost alien looking technology. And it was just really cool to see the various different machines throughout the film, like this weird sleep machine with these tentacles, covering Viggo Mortensen's character. Just really cool stuff. The gore, I mean, it doesn't hold back. And fuck, David Cronenberg was not joking when he talked about, that final act really having some disturbing shit. I mean, that's definitely one of the most fucked up things I've seen in a movie in a really, really long time. And I understand why he said some people would walk out. And overall, man, this movie I just thought was fucking great. It also has a really good message behind it that, some people are going to take a certain way, but I think like under the surface, what he was trying to tell and the way the message all came together at the end of the movie was really well done. And yeah, I think this is one of his fucking masterpieces, to be honest with you, man. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Just watching him take elements from various things, even stuff like, it reminded me a little bit of Crash, some Dead Ringers a little bit in there, especially with, the way the tools and the surgery tools looked. Just really awesome stuff. And it felt like he was paying tribute to some of his older stuff too, which was nice to see. I'm always a big fan of that. And I hope he's not done the horror genre, but if he is, this was a great swan song in that genre. I know he does have another movie, but I don't think it's horror coming up.
Cool. Todd, you want to go next?
No, I was gonna say, I mean, I thought this was very realistic. We had a buddy who was starting to grow an organ on his face. So
this is true.
You should cast him. It's not too late. No CG needed. No effects needed.
But no, someone brought up in the chat, this feels like the third part of like a trilogy with Videodrome, Existence, and this. It just like feels like a continuation of that, or like part of that whole thing, even with some of the effects. Yeah, I'm and that's actually the style I want, because I love Videodrome. I mean, stuff like that. Yeah, I thought he nailed it. Kruger, covered up. Yeah, I don't have anything to
Yeah, I mean, I sucked it off plenty, but
yeah, pretty much.
So all right. Just to get into this one, I'm a Cronenberg guy. Obviously, I'm the audience. I'm also a science fiction guy. I would really probably pitch this more as a maybe disturbing science fiction film than an out and out horror film. As far as gore goes, there's a little bit of gore, but it's I don't know, how do I put this, more disturbing technology, disturbing. It's not a movie with a body count.
no, but
And
it's all body horror.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely body horror. I think a lot of people are going to view this, not necessarily me, but I think this is going to fall more in terms of popularity somewhere around Existence, quite frankly. I think there's going to be negative reviews because there's huge ideas in this. I love what this movie was trying to say, but it's going to come off as undercooked for some. There is no big bang razzle dazzle ending or anything like that. It presents some fascinating questions, but it kind of leaves a lot of answers up to you, which I'm cool with. But I do think a lot of people are going to have issues on it. There's so many subplots here and characters that they just don't have time to fully explore. The acting is fantastic. Everybody is amazing. I mean, Viggo Mortensen, his relationship with Cronenberg, I hope it continues. But it is a very kind of esoteric film. Like, it's only going to appeal to certain people. And that should, if you know anything about Cronenberg, you should know you're not getting a mainstream sci-fi action film or anything like that. I love the world. The sort of salvaged technology. We see these rundown boats. It doesn't spell everything out. Obviously, the planet is dying.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything that is necessarily scary. Again, I know a lot of horror fans are going to have some issues. It is disturbing. In fact, the most disturbing thing is some of the things that people ingest, which you see some of that in the trailer. But I love this movie. Would I recommend it to everybody? No, not necessarily. There is some unique sexual stuff that would definitely be the most disturbing. There's some talk of a certain stomach scene in the chat that I'm glad people appreciated it. But yeah, there is just so much going on here. It definitely left me wanting more. Like, I want to explore this world more. I mean, we're never going to get any kind of TV series adaptation.
Yeah, wasn't this the one he was trying to sell to Netflix? I think
he might have been. I know the script.
Yeah,
because I read life like in '99.
Well, I read something that he was trying to sell. I think it was this as a series to Netflix, and basically just him. I mean, it would make sense why they wouldn't want that type of content on their thing. I mean, they have gone to really fucked up. But
David Lynch. I mean, that's certainly the shit they did with him. That short that they did with him. They will based on the name.
But what Cronenberg was explaining is like when I read the interview, he was saying that they more so are like less ambitious with their own in-house stuff, and like for example Squid Games and like more of their like edgier stuff,
Yeah,
they
you have to go
usually take from
overseas,
they take from other areas, and he thinks that doing an in-house thing they would be definitely more restrictive, at least from his experience. So that's
Yeah.
probably why. But man, yeah, I would have killed for a series of fucking Crimes of the Future, because there's so much you could do.
Well, yeah, even, and it could be a different tone even. I mean,
Yeah.
again, there's a lot in this world that you want more of. Everything I think makes sense. I don't think this is necessarily an ambiguous film. It just doesn't, it doesn't linger long. There's certain characters in here, the two women whose actor names are escaping me at the moment. And we're going to elaborate a little bit more on that in spoilers, but it just leaves you wanting more. And I think that's what's going to disappoint a lot of the audience. I don't think their walkouts had anything to do with content necessarily with this.
There's definitely a fucking group of horror fans that would be very upset seeing what they saw, if they saw what they saw in this movie. Just judging by what one of my favorite movies of all time gets shit for, but we can go into that in spoilers.
Sure. Yeah, I think just in general, this is not a mainstream movie, and
No.
I'm glad.
No.
The closest Cronenberg really got to that was, I mean, in a way, The Fly. So he can certainly do a mass appeal movie that is a fucking masterpiece too. Just not enough runtime to fully explore all the side characters. I'm a science fiction guy, so I love this. I could spend all sorts of time in this world. I don't think this is going to be remembered as one of his greats necessarily. But again, it's such a high bar. You mentioned some, I think David Cronenberg, if you look at the entire filmography, blows Wes Craven out of the water. I think he,
consistency.
That his movies are not for everybody. I mean, even his last one, Maps to the Stars, that's not. If you want to see Julianne Moore taking a shit, I mean, that's probably a small audience. But but this is just excellent science fiction to me, with the typical Cronenberg body horror thrown in.
The one thing I'll say too is, like, it's really well paced. There wasn't any areas where like nothing was going on long enough for me to get bored, or and there is a lot of science babble too, but which I know certain people could find
Deep
that
themes.
off-putting, but me, I was really, really fucking interested in this in this world, and just watching everything play out just visually. I mean, dude, there's some like, if you have the one thing I disagree with you, Dan, from what you were saying earlier, is that no people will find this scary. If you have fears of surgeries or being in MRI machines or shit like that, this is fucking terrifying as fuck. Like, I just personal experience, knowing somebody that watched it with me, they were like, oh fuck this. As soon as like he got locked in that thing and there's fucking scalpels, fucking cutting them up, like they were freaking out.
I love the whole concept of essentially people don't feel pain or infection anymore. I mean, obviously this is not something that's happening anytime soon, but the whole idea of people just rapidly evolving off the natural human course. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some big ideas in here. So I hope people like it. Is this the one, like, just to the chat? I don't know. There's some of you I'd recommend it. Yeah, there's some of you I'd recommend it to. Others that just, quite frankly, it's just going to be, not for me. So I think there'll be a lot of that. Another thing I wanted to point out, never became like that big star. He kind of felt like he might for a while, but Scott Speedman, very underrated actor. He's always good, but he just somehow didn't become that big name. But he also is fantastic in this one. And there's some bizarre sexuality that that I love. big questions, fascinating movie. But I don't know. I think this one, when you have a lot of people go over Cronenberg's filmography, I don't think it's going to be at the top for a lot. I don't know where I would put it yet.
I don't know. I put it pretty fucking high, man. Like
I would probably would too, but
like I'm talking at least in my top 5, and for sure. Like, and I love all his classics, but I think this is one that people will go back to too, especially depending on how the world changes in the next few years. Like, I think this could become a very powerful, timeless film. But we will see. But I do agree. Like, it's going to be a mixed reaction.
Yeah.
But I will also say, if you watch the trailer, I think you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah, the just a lot of people aren't going to relate to these sort of future bohemians. That's just the way it is. But man, the purpose of sci-fi is to really ask big questions, and I think this does that. I like the ending. It's just, again, I could sort of feel because we had those technical issues. I was actually talking to some people even on the way out who were asking about the ending. It's like, yeah, that was just, I thought there was going to be something bigger. And I was like, that's what most audience, like, well, they wanted that big action.
There was also a really fucked up thing that happened right before the ending too.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of the high point, and then we need to bring it back down to actually get our message across, which I don't know. I really appreciated it, but there's a lot I want to talk in spoilers. So why don't we rate and just get into that?
Absolutely, go for it, Kruger.
Man, this is my second favorite movie I've seen in theaters all year, and it's beating out Texas Chainsaw Massacre as my favorite horror film of 2022. So 5 out of 5 for me. I fucking loved it, and I can't wait to watch it again. I may catch it in the theater again before it gets taken out.
Todd, how about you?
I'm actually a 4 out of 5. I liked it. I thought it was really good, and I think it can grow to be a 5. But like most Cronenberg, in like 10 years, it's going to be looked at different. So I'm sure it'll get up there too.
I'm a 4.5, and it could even grow again. I mean, my God, I'm not even really criticizing the movie. I just don't want it to be. This is definitely not a recommendation for everyone. But yeah, 4.5. The Master still has it, and I will maintain best filmography by far. I put him over Carpenter.
And his son is so fucking good too. And it's like the same shit his dad would make. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. I saw in the chat they said that his son was filming his new movie. Why Cronenberg was doing this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So can't wait for that, because Possessor was my favorite movie of 2020. So fuck yeah, dude. The Cronenbergs just are a godsend to horror for me. So
I can see them co-directing something.
Dude, that would be imagine that, or a fucking show, like them just create a show together. Oh, dude, that'd be in heaven.
It's not a guarantee, because working with family sometimes isn't always
that's true.
Sean, excellent score. I loved it. Just everything about this is so cool. It's funny when you think back, Cronenberg starting that Toronto film co-op with Ivan Reitman of all people. And just the inner beauty pageant, which you'll see what that's all about. Just so many great ideas in this one. Do we want to go into spoilers now? And I will say, if you're wondering, this isn't like he was a ghost all along kind of film, so you might still be okay. It's not but it's up to you. But we will get into spoilers now.
All right, here we go.
There we go. So what did you think about, I love the idea of, obviously, and they don't tell you like what happened. It's as far as the world going to shit, but I love the idea of, evolving to eat plastic.
Yeah.
I thought that was just, and that is probably one of the more disturbing scenes was when the kid was just eating the wastebasket.
Yeah, that was just
Yeah.
unsettling.
Yeah, it was-
reminded me of Swallow.
Yeah,
For
that's what I
those
was
of you
about to
remember
say.
that,
Yeah, that Pica movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, and the one thing too was it kind of felt almost like, you know, a vegan type, you know, vegan vegetarian type of message too. Just when you're talking about, you know, making synthetic food and how we're, you know, making synthetic meat now and stuff like that. I mean, it really is timely, you know, to the stuff going on in the world right now. Just dude, the fucking, like, I was expecting the, you know, whole autopsy with the kid to be fucked up, but I was not expecting him to go fucking full, like, this kid's naked, you're seeing everything, and you're seeing his fucking corpse get defiled on screen by this fucking machine. That was just like my jaw, like, again, it's one of those moments where I was just like, holy fuck, he went that far. And I can, like, the one thing I'll say is, you know, if you have a problem with a Serbian film, you're probably going to have a problem with this fucking movie because, I mean, in my opinion, like, granted, the act of what's going on in the Serbian film is more fucked up, but
yeah.
you see straight up nudity in this, and you don't, like, it's kind of hidden in that movie. So I can see some people being really, really upset about it if they just watch and, you know, see that going along. I'm picturing angry Twitter threads right now, but maybe they will save it because it is kind of have a vegan message in there. So who knows? Maybe it won't get canceled. But yeah, just that, and just the way they built to that too, where, like, you kind of know that's where the movie's going about halfway through, so your mind's just kind of wandering, and I wasn't expecting it to get like that fucked up. And just those machines, man, I mean, it really did look like something H.R. Geiger would design.
It was like it was like the opposite because it was white instead of black, but that's like
but
exactly
the same
the
same aesthetic.
That's what I was thinking the whole time too.
Yeah, and just so cool and so cool. And I, at the point, I was wondering, like, because the way he was talking about how the sleep machine was working and helping with his organ growth, I was wondering, like, are these machines just going to start fucking taking over? And, you know, just like, you know, to end up taking over and saying these fucking humans are killing this planet and we're taking it back, or, you know, something like that. That would have been, you know, it was just cool to have all these various questions in my head why going through this, and then it all coming, you know, to a head at the end.
One of my references for, because a lot of people are going to say I wanted more, and the best example I always give of that is Cube. I thought Cube was amazing. The sequels gave you too much. It would have been better if it just ended with the first Cube, because I don't need any more explanation. Leave me wondering a little bit. I mean, again, the reason I didn't get that extra half star is there are some characters that are a little undercooked, but
like who?
What were their names? The two
scientists or the
two
the assassin chicks.
Yeah,
I get that, but that was kind of, you know, the point is that they were undercover for the police.
Sure. Well, it's very film noir, actually. I don't think I said that in the review, but you know, Viggo Mortensen kind of playing all sides, and it has a very strong film noir aesthetic to it. And hey, again, I'm a Blade Runner guy, so I love that shit. I hope people like it. Well, this is not like Blade Runner, but it does have. We never had any, like, I don't think Harrison Ford ever had his stomach eaten out by Sean Young. Maybe behind the scenes that happened.
That was gross the way it just fucking unzipped. And I'm just saying straight up, I would fuck so hard in one of those goddamn machines with those scalpels and shit. That shit was hot as fuck, dude. Like, straight up, like, I was like, oh, fucking thank God nobody's sitting next to me in this fucking row. It'd be like watching Crash and shit. And, like, it reminded me of Crash with the whole underground sex thing. You know, this is the new sex. So they're all basically having this weird taboo underground sex rink thing. And yeah, it was just it reminded me of that, which was cool too. I'm glad I recently just decided to I need to catch up on like a bunch of Cronenberg I missed, and sure as shit he used like elements of each fucking thing I watched into this movie, which was just perfect. And I think that's just why I love it so much. Anytime I see a filmmaker do it, like we just saw Dario Argento do that with Dark Glasses, him picking from Cat of Nine Tails and some other stuff.
Oh,
And,
sure.
and like it just anytime a director gets to that point to where he can pay tribute to his own shit, I'm all fucking for it.
One of my favorite lines in here was when Kristen Stewart's kind of trying to seduce Viggo Mortensen, and he's like, "I'm not good at the old sex."
That was great.
It reminded me, which is a fun, odd thing to come from me, but I do recognize, as much as I love my porn, that it does sort of desensitize a lot of people. So there's a lot of compelling messages in this.
Dude just said, as much as I love my porn.
I do love my porn, but I'm just saying, I agree. It changes things, If you're a young man getting your cherry on, you like try and grab a girl by the hair, like, I can't do it if you don't pretend to be stuck. You know what I mean? Like, there's, yeah, I understand.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is
there is that is happening tonight. I just can't do it if you don't pretend to be stuck. It's a thing. It's a thing. You know what?
I'm not arguing that it's a thing. It's just that.
Yes.
Feel bad for whoever's chained in his basement tonight.
I'm not talking about me. I'm pre-stuck era, so I'm good with just
old
a
sex.
naked girl. I'm old sex all the way.
Back to the fucking movie. How about Ear Dude Ballerina? Like, that shit was fucking just goofy as fuck. And I almost felt like that was Cronenberg saying something about just horror in general, to where, like, it was all, he said it was like, fuck, I forgot. He called it some type of propaganda, like just shock, basically calling it just shock value. I thought that was funny. I wonder if, that was his little fucking, poke fun at the horror genre, just in general, having that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's Cronenberg would probably be the hardest ranking show, because I love his non-horror stuff. I love everything. Yeah. So that ranking would almost be impossible for me.
Dude, one thing too, this fucking reminded me of American Mary a lot as well. Big time with the whole body modification thing.
Yeah.
I think there's more to this, but
no,
yeah.
definitely. Well, yeah, obviously, Dan, but I'm talking about the specific, like, people are getting implants put in, fucking having this crazy shit. Like that one chick had those fucking gills cut into her face and shit.
As technology improves and goes who knows where, it's not that unrealistic.
I've seen some crazy body modification with people. Like, I know, like, I follow a motherfucker on Instagram that straight up looks like Red Skull, for fuck's sake. Like, has no fucking nose. It's just a crater and everything. Has implants to make his fucking, and like these weird sharp teeth. Like, he looks like a fucking demon from hell. But hey,
have you watched Quid Pro Quo with Nick Stahl? That might be one you might want to look into. Not a full-on horror movie. I forget the term, and there's a doc too, but people that think like a limb doesn't belong, and I
may have seen something like that. Is it a movie or a doc?
No. The Quid Pro Quo is it's Vera Farmiga and Nick Stahl. I don't remember who else was in it. But yeah, it sort of delves into that. Not really a full-on horror movie, but those people are real. When I never got to interview somebody, no offense, quite that fucked up, but that was something I was looking into to try and find somebody. I never did. Probably glad I didn't, but yeah, that, like, just leg doesn't belong, arms don't belong, nose doesn't belong, and it's weird.
I love when that's explored in, genre films, just, because taboo sexual stuff, like, everybody's usually afraid to touch it. And throughout Cronenberg's whole filmography, from the fucking beginning to the movies on, his early years fucking Blu-ray, he's always been super interested in just like taboo sexual stuff and bringing that into his stories. And yeah, it's just I love that shit and fucking love him, man. One thing too, I will say, this also kind of reminded me, not maybe on the same level, very different film, but it kind of reminded me of House of Flesh Mannequins too. Todd, you get any of that? You reviewed that one with me a while back. It's an unearthed film.
Giovanni Lombardo Radice, if you don't remember. You need a
okay, I can see that.
Yeah, just with some of the torture stuff and the performance, it's was both performance art, body fucking scarring and cutting yourself up with shit. So it reminded me of that too. So that wouldn't be necessarily the worst double either. And that movie gets pretty fucked up too. So but yeah, just so happy I found, like, I don't think anything's gonna beat this out as my favorite movie of the year, unless fucking The Black Phone or one of those other big ones I have.
Yeah, that'd be if a Blumhouse movie did it. I doubt it, but
did you see the Blumhouse Tilt one? I don't know. That I think was on the other one.
Oh, what the fuck was that one? I actually did get a weird trailer. It was like a 3-second teaser for something called Smile. Yeah.
See, I saw that. I saw it. I didn't hear any dialogue, so I think I caught the end of that as I was.
No, it was like literally 10 seconds, Dan.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think they played the Bodies trailer, which I'm going to say this, and I was talking to actually Lauren earlier about it. It's A24. I'm going to see it, but that movie looks obnoxious as fuck. Maybe it's Peter Davidson, but I'm like, man, it's weird. I kind of.
Why'd you call him Peter? All
He's being formal.
Isn't it Peter Davidson?
No,
I'm thinking Doctor Who. That's the problem. There is a better one that doesn't make you want to jump off a cliff.
But you know, the people who didn't get Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the last one, are gonna have the same issue with this.
Yeah, probably.
Say that again, Bud?
The people that had the issue with Texas Chainsaw, saying it was too woke and shit, are probably going to have the same issue with this movie, because this movie, I mean, all the shit that they put in that trailer is obviously making fun of how stupid these chicks are and how ridiculous they're acting.
I'm sure, but do I still want to hang out with them? I'm sure it's more intelligent than anything Bloom would do. But goddamn, do I want to hang out with Pete Davidson for 90 minutes? I don't know that I do.
But you know what? Go back to Spring Breakers, and that's somebody you want to hang out with it on some of it. But it's a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see it. Obviously, it's A24. But man, I hope he dies his character dies really horrifically in the movie.
I hope Kanye West busts in there and pops a cap in his ass.
That would take a big payday.
Oh shit! Can you imagine if he shoots up a screening?
Oh Jesus Christ!
But yeah, no, I do. Are we done spoilers now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're done.
I think everybody should just check this one out for themselves. I know some of you have to drive to it. It's Neon. I can't really remember how quick they are to go to VOD, but hopefully it's going to be soon, and hopefully you'll get a chance to check it out. And as always, let us know what you think. This one's going to be all over the place. So with that being said, be sure to check out our commentary. Well, watch along for All the Boys Love Mandy Lane that we just posted. Wednesday's show, we have our men review, which was very interesting, very spirited. And this Sunday, Slaughterhouse Slumber Party reviews going up. So check that out. And we've got a lot of cool stuff coming in the next week or so. We're finally doing a Tombs of the Blind Dead show. I'm so excited for that.
And the Jurassic Park show, too.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Jurassic Park franchise show coming soon, and we will also be reviewing the most recent Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World Dominion. Very much looking forward to that, even though it's probably going to be stupid as fuck, but dinosaurs, so.
There you go. Reboot Carnosaur, that's what I want.
I'm in.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us early or late, or I guess this could qualify for all sorts of things. And Big T, thank you for staying up till 5 a.m. That's same here.
Much appreciated.
Sam Neil shout out. I agree. Yeah, I will watch it, Ben. Like I said, it's A24. Pete Davidson and Blumhouse might actually like just kill me in the theater. Like if those two forces of hell come together.
Well, now I want that to happen.
Oh, that one I would say that would just be a Todd and Kruger show, and Pugs if he wants to subject himself to it. And Pugs will be back soon.
Yes,
he is coming to the end of his prison stint, I guess.
I've been sending him money and fucking commissary, so he's been taken care of, but we will be happy to have him back.
Yes, and I don't know, maybe he'll give you some brief thoughts on some of these movies he missed that we saw. So all right, guys, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you back here soon.
Good evening.
Surgery is the new sex.